no evidence. I came here, I've not seen anybody influencing any electorates with any money. So those accusations, I think that as a media practitioner, you should not even follow it at all. I mean, it breeds tension. I don't think that there's any such thing. We are not engaged in that. We have conducted effective campaigning. We've gone to communities, we've gone to churches, we've visited chiefs, we've done door to door. We've waged an effective campaign. We are very hopeful that we are going to win. So those who are peddling such false narrative is not going to wash. We are very hopeful that we will make victorious.
So this alleged influence, if you like, which is now beginning to mar what otherwise had been a peaceful exercise so far, with just an hour and some few minutes to go for election to come to a close, it's now beginning to develop even further. Now, the Electoral Commission, I brought you that statement that they issued, saying that they will be investigating this matter, but steps they've taken include the fact that they have withdrawn these officers, 2 of them, from the polling center to allow for some kind of investigation. Now, Ohemen Teria is with our sister station, Ishra FM, and he's been monitoring the process. Ohemen, what more can you report on this developing issue?
And thanks for the opportunity to speak to us. It's rather unfortunate that the incident happened few minutes after you had left this polling station, because I was there with you. How do you feel that a polling station you visited in not less than 5 minutes, an incident of this nature was recorded there?
As you are saying, I didn't witness what transpired. So somebody just sent the video to me. So in the video, you will see that somebody pulled a white something, whether it is an envelope, whether it is a handkerchief, whether it's a paper, it is not clear to that. And it was, I think the attempt was to give it to the officer, but the officer did not pick. Then it was put on the table. So that's what we want to know, what has happened. So for the meantime, because of the election going on, if you want to do a lot of investigation, we even disorganize the voting. So we've asked the 2, you could see 2 officers were closer to the person who gave the passage, whatever it is. So we have asked them to stay aside for us to finish with the election. Then when we finish with the election, then we'll go into the issue and see what was it. Was it envelope? If it is an envelope, what was the content? What is it meant for? Whatever, if it is handkerchief, what is it meant for? If it is ordinary paper, what is it meant for? So we will get to know the details of whatever the content or the parcel is and the purpose of the parcel. Then based on that, we'll take the next action.
I know EC officials have visited this said polling station. What has been your initial understanding of events? Was it an envelope? Was it a handkerchief? Was it an ordinary paper that the officials were reluctant in picking or accepting from this man?
I'm here to talk to those who went, but my understanding is that they went there just to ask them to stand aside for us to finish with the election. So later we'll get to know the details of it.
Then what then happens to the electorates? Because we know these 2 officials were working. They were busy.
We have replaced them with different set of people to do the work. We had a standby, so those people have moved in to take charge of the work. So the voting, we didn't want to create any scene there or to create any tension over there. So they have been asked to stand aside whilst we will continue with the work. When we finish, we'll do the next investigation and take the next action that should be taken.
This is early days yet, but people are speculating that this could affect the credibility of today's exercise. As a director of elections for EC, do you see this having an impact or negative impact on today's exercise?
If you watch the video, you captured it. If you look at it critically, the officers refused even to receive whatever was being offered to them. So I said, I don't know how this one will affect the integrity of the election. Is it because of that they are going to increase somebody's vote or deny somebody from the chance of voting? All these things will be avoided. That's why we ask them to stand aside. So to us, it doesn't have any effect on the integrity of the election.
The belief is that maybe I'm not speculating that probably it was money that was exchanged hands. But yes, but if, for instance, it comes out to be money, and people will assume that maybe there are many other officials who have been compromised, who are, yes, I'm speculating. So you are saying that there's no way this could affect the credibility of the election, but people assume that if, for instance, it was money that was being exchanged, it's likely to affect the credibility, because
if it is even money, and it happened at that particular center, and as I said, if you watch the video very well, the people, they were not ready to receive whatever the parcel was, so it was dropped on the table, right? So for now, we shouldn't crucify them till we do the investigation and get to the root of it. Because clearly, if you watch, you captured it, you have a look at it. The parcel was being given to them, and the people were not ready to take it. So it was dropped on the table. When it was dropped on the table, who took it? Now we don't know. Whether the man even went back to pick it, then, because that portion did not appear in the camera. So let's wait and do the investigation, and we'll see what we do.
You seem to feel so proud about these officers for not accepting, like not taking it directly from the man. Is it your position?
For now, don't draw conclusions. In the video, they refuse to receive it, right? But what happens after you have left? I wouldn't know. That's what I'm saying. So the investigation will show whether, as they refuse to receive it, they didn't take it and the man took it back. I wouldn't know, right? If they went back and took it too, then it has also its own implication. So let's wait. We shouldn't crucify anybody. Let's get to the root of it. Once we have done the investigation, then we'll know what was it. Did they take it, or the giver took it back? All these things will come up. Then based on that, we'll draw our conclusions and take the necessary primitive measures, if need be.
How long will these investigations take?
We are during the election. We'll finish today, and we'll go there. If we have to even give it to the police to investigate, they will do that. So the commission will take the necessary step to clear the system.
So is it to say that you want to involve police in this investigation?
I'm saying that we will do the investigation based on the initial thing that we will get. If we need to bring in the police, we will do so.
For Asamba,
Right, so that's my colleague Ohiminte. We are interacting with the Director of Electoral Services, Dr. Sribu Kweku, saying that they are going to investigate this matter. Even if they have to involve the police, they will involve the police. But the steps they've taken include the fact that they have asked these electoral officers to step aside. They've brought in new people to man the Fumesia polling center because of the matter involving the Member of Parliament for Kwara. So whatever he gave them is unclear as of now. But what is established is that some envelope may have exchanged hands. The content we don't know. And that is what the investigation would unravel. We'll get to understand this even more and pick reaction from watchers of this parliamentary by-election, including the stakeholders, those who are contesting the election, and those who have interest in it. But what exactly is happening on the ground? We just an hour and few minutes for polls to come to a close. Let me bring in Nana Boachi Yadom. Nana Boachi Yadom is with our partners, with our sister station Love FM. We'll also be speaking to political scientist Dr. Asa Asante and Mustafa Gbamde, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, on their initial, observations so far. Nana Boachi Yadom, I mean, where you are, what can you report with just an hour and some 40 minutes for polls to come to a close?
Well, Elton, the process has been smooth where I am. I am currently at the Fumesa polling center, where the process started at exactly 7 a.m., just like all the polling centers that we have visited so far. The process has been smooth. The only issue is the voter turnout, which has been very, very poor. The EC says that they are holding on, expecting a lot of people to come in and cast their vote as it's left with an hour and some few minutes to end polls. So generally, from where I am and other places that I have visited, the process has been smooth. One thing is that we did visit Bonre. There's a Bonre Senior High School, there's a polling station there earlier, when some supporters of the independent candidate, Fabio Dumi, were alleging that the NTP was influencing votes with money. We did speak to some of them. They were raising concerns about the huge amount of money being given to some of these voters to go and cast their votes for the MPP's candidate. It led to some few misunderstandings over them, but the police were swift about the matter. They dealt with it, and then they made sure that peace was restored. We did speak to the NPP national organizer, where he also denied such allegations. Aside that, at Kumasa here, the NDC supporters came in to throw their weight behind the independent candidate, Kwabena Owusu Edunum. That also brought in some form of tension, which led to MPP supporters chasing them out, calling them names to move out of the contest because they are not having any candidate in. And so they were asking why the NDC supporters will come in to throw their weight behind Kwabena Owusu Edunum, who is contesting as an independent candidate. This brought in some kind of misunderstanding here. The NDC supporters also said that they also have the right to choose whoever they want, and so going in or calling people to come and vote for Edunum is also their right. That led to the little misunderstanding here at Kumasa. The police were strict about the matter as well. They dealt with it, and as I speak to you, everything has been peaceful.
But Nana, since you say you are reporting from Kumasa, is this the same place this envelope exchange hands? And what is the mood there?
Well, exactly. This is exactly where the envelope incident happened. The mood here, I can say that after they asked the two EC officials to leave, everything has been peaceful. You know, there would be some mistrust if we had these EC officials still present. But then since they are not here, the process is still going on peacefully. There's still trust, and they are waiting on the EC to conclude the entire process. As you can see, the letter issued by the EC says that they are beginning investigations into the matter. And so, as to whether or not they can determine that those two officials are guilty or not, we'll still have to wait for the EC to make such determination. But then everything has been peaceful so far. This is the same place the incident happened. The envelope incident, I would say, happened.
Thank you very much, Nana Wachi Yadom, and we'll get back to you as the process begins to wind down, because we've got an hour and some 30-something minutes for the polls to come to a close. But let me bring in political scientist Dr. Asa Asante, and of course Mustafa Gbande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, also joined via Zoom. Dr. Asante, I mean, the process started in the morning. It was peaceful, characterized by low voter turnout, and then this matter of the envelope. Your initial comments on how far things have turned out for you.
Good afternoon to you and your viewers. I think so far what we have seen, apart from this envelope incident, has been very peaceful, and that is how every election ought to be. It is not, a do or die affair. It's an expression of ideas and how far you have worked and served your people, so that they either reward you or throw you away. But so far what we have seen and we've heard from the place, it's cool. Still voting is on, and the process peaceful. This envelope incident is very unfortunate, but I will leave it as at now because you are now going into what? You are going to investigate the issue and see what happens. But it's unfortunate because if there is nothing like you want to influence or induce anybody, pulling out a thing of that sort at that moment, it's totally wrong, even if there is no intention to influence anybody. Because you see, for election to be free and fair, you should have no doubts about the process. So anything that will create doubt, I think my good friend knows better. So you should have, acted very well. Even if it was something else, it was not money, it was nothing, you shouldn't have pulled that thing out there, because anything that will raise an eyebrow will obviously undermine the electoral process. I am happy that the same constituency where your reporter picked the incident as calm, and that is how it ought to be. So far, I think that the process has been smooth, but this is a very unfortunate incident. In fact, it's an ugly spectacle we don't want to see in election. However the intention is, it is not meant to happen in any way. It may be something else, not the envelope containing the content we don't know and all that. But it shouldn't happen because it can raise unnecessary eyebrow. This election that is peaceful, so you don't expect anything to come in to affect the situation. It's very unfortunate. But the good news is that it will be investigated and we'll know what really transpired.
Let me bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbandi. Mustafa, let me pick your initial talks on how far the voting is gone or has gone for you, and then the other matter that is beginning to mar the beauty of the parliamentary by-election at Ajuso.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to our respected scientists on the other side and your listeners. I mean, I think that my initial comments would be that the by-election demonstrates a vote of no confidence in the MPP, first and foremost. Number two, it further exposes the need for a round-table conversation about how Electoral Commission should prepare for the election ahead. What it simply means, beyond the suspicion, is that people can go to voting centers and begin to share envelopes, and people will subsequently receive those envelopes. But for Joy News, these would have been a criminality that is going down the drains against the blind side of all Ghanaians to go and effect or perpetuate some suspected electoral fraud or compromise. And so there's a need for us all to have a roundtable conversation to strengthen the Electoral Commission to be well prepared for the 2024 election, because ideally, this is a very chaotic situation that can raise a lot of disorder at voting centers when it is not done by an ordinary Ghanaian, but a sitting member of parliament. So I was surprised why the Electoral Commission captured in their letter, they're saying that he is some person. He is not some person. He is a member of parliament for Kwadaso who is doing that. Number two, the fact that NDC didn't participate in this election, but even in the stronghold of the MPP, they are struggling to win a by-election, demonstrates that Ghanaians, first of all, have lost confidence in this government. It's a lesson for all appointees within this government to know that they need to be wise in terms of how they want to spend on election. And they need to hurriedly start packing their things gradually, because what is coming in December will not be good for the MPP. And again, in their stronghold, it's quite insane that in the stronghold of the MPP, we have projected an apathy level of a 52% or a 50%. And the voter turnout is relatively very low. It defeats the scientific proposition that when your government is in power, your strongholds are likely to be happy. What these synopses mean is that even in the MPP stronghold, the people have not still seen the impact of the government. Until these by-elections, there was no single monumental project in the Jusu constituency that the MPP can pinpoint that it's impacting the lives of the people, in as much as that is their stronghold. But beyond that, we have also seen the president touring the place with a standby generator by ECG, helping the president to escape Dumsor. What it means is that the reality of our energy crisis has come, and that you will expect an honest government to want to own up to the problem, responsibly sit with stakeholders, and find lasting solutions. Even though they have 8 months, they can still do something because they have subsequent elections apart from 2024 to contest. This is not the end of our lives or elections. And so the MPP will want to give themselves some future credibility to be able to contest for election by ensuring that the current energy crisis is really confronted.
Right. So, Mustafa, I mean, the Electoral Commission have taken steps, including if you like, the suspension of the 2 electoral officers involved in this, white envelope exchange. And they say that they are investigating, even if they have to involve the police, they will do so. I mean, you have to give it to them that they've been very proactive in dealing with this matter once and for all. Are you not happy with the way they've gone about it?
I would assume that because the police are so busy, and of course, let's congratulate the police regime. Beyond the little skirmishes, I am told that they have deployed 5 policemen per polling station. What that means is that beyond that, the remedy for suspected bribery is not administrative. It is purely a criminal matter. And by this time, in any responsible jurisdiction, the MP should be arrested and the electoral officer being arrested. Clearly something has taken place.
Even though we don't know what is contained in this envelope and the motivation.
Well, even if it was a love letter, assuming that the MP and the Electoral Commission officer are married couples, why would you come and give a letter to your wife at the polling station or a voting center? In the parameters of election, these activities are not permissible. They did so within the perimeter of voting, and that there is nothing that can remedy the situation other than criminal investigation. First of all, arresting the said MP, unethical politician, and also arresting the partial receiver of that envelope. That will be the first step that should be taken. And, taking them out and bringing new people is not a remedy for suspicious criminal activities. In this case, we can say that, one, there may be stuffed ballot, already vote on printed ballot papers. He may say no. We will say that it is money being exchanged in hands, which is bribery. The electoral officer have received, which is also the receiver. So both parties are in a crime. Even if it is not money and it is any other thing, why are the perimeter of voting? And so clearly, it affects the credibility and reputation of the exercise that is ongoing, which warrants a criminal arrest.
I will come back.
So I will spare the police, hoping that when they return by tomorrow, these unscrupulous member of parliament should be arrested.
I'll come back to ask you about claims that even though the NDC officially is not participating in this parliamentary by-election, the claim is that you are supporting and helping one of the independent candidates, Kwabena Osu-Aduome, to win the seat. I'll seek your reaction on that. But Dr. Asante, the EC was swift in responding to this matter, took steps to suspend the electoral officers. I mean, to what extent does this guarantee the credibility of the exercise today?
A difficult one, because you don't know what goes on in the minds of people. Maybe the intention is not to induce anybody, but you see, the act in public, full glare of cameras and all that creates the problem, right? But the EC's response was very swift. That has brought hope to the people, and that all is not lost. Let's forge ahead and then continue to urge our people to go and vote massively for whoever is the preferred candidate for that type of people, the group of people there. So I believe that we will want to wait. After election, we see how the investigation will go and all that. But so far, that's the best the EC could do under the circumstance. Yes, withdraw those people who were in the thick of affairs, and then also, in order not to mud the whole process, take, a judicial notice of what has happened, and then after that, you begin your process of investigation and you bring your findings to bear on the matter. For election, we always say that you don't want to create a situation where there is the slightest doubt on the minds of anybody. That creates a problem. But I believe that this one, the way the EC has acted, and then the way the process is being carried through, I have no reason to doubt that all things being equal, we will be victorious, and that election will be free and fair, and that people, those who have lost, will concede defeat and accept the rules of the game by congratulating the winner and the rest of them. So I believe that is how it ought to be. More often than not, when such incidents happen, the wise thing to do is that you put it behind you, and then it should urge you to vote for the candidate that you really want to vote for, so that whatever the plan is, you cancel it by way of your voting. And that is the spirit that supports any democratic enterprise such as what? Election. So yes, you want to have doubts in your mind. How do you clear that? You can only clear that when you go and exercise your franchise, so that apathy should not be a thing in this matter. And once you express yourself and then you go in your numbers for your people, obviously, if luck is on your side, you should be able to win the day. So that is what I can say for now.
But Dr. Asante, I mean, the concern here is that this was captured on camera. I mean, there are over 200 polling centers in the Ajoso constituency. And the concern is that what if similar things are happening on the blind side of, the public?
Yeah, that will only be something worth considering when you have evidence, like what we have now. That one, you have no evidence. So the best it can be, you'll be conjecturing. You'll be conjecturing and all that. But for political actors, they will always pretend that nothing of the sort happened, but they themselves are guilty of that one. So that one, you and I know that it amounts to nothing. Our effort to pry into that, we are not going to get the results that one, unless you can only hear that when people have been beaten to it, when people are cheated in a way, when there is a pain, then you see the one in pain expressing grief and then disappointment. That's why. But if it goes on well with that person, they move on and will come and tell you that we organize ourselves well and we won and all that. That brings to mind that we should, approach election with all manner of seriousness, eschew things that will undermine the process and all that. Because that one, it gives you your real strength. If you organize yourself devoid of any antics, devoid of any tactics that will undermine the process for you to gain favor in the election. Once you win, you yourself, you are not convinced that you have had a genuine victory and all that. And that is one of the banes of this democracy that we have, that people use all manner of means to get, election won at the end of the day. But the process sometimes are very, very, very questionable. But hey, in politics, who get what, when and how?
But the outcome of this, which for some may be a moral booster or better still, an endorsement or rejection of the governance of the MPP, is what people are looking forward to. For example, the outcome of today's by-election, the MPP. Should the MPP win, to what extent would that give them confidence going to December? Knowing very well that the independent candidate, 3-time MP, former Chief Executive Highways Authority, the man is not just a small fly in the community. What would be your expectation after all is said and done today?
I expect that whoever will win genuinely, without any inducement, without any sort of harassment and all that. And the people would express themselves freely to give whoever is supposed to win the votes. But that aside, in politics, people can do all manner of things because they want power. So you can see inducement, you can see issue of, harassment, but we haven't seen any, but manipulation, let me put it that way, being brought to the fore and all that. We are saying that in a constituency like this, from the word go, this should be an easy election for the ruling MPP, for an obvious reason that this is their stronghold and that they've been winning time immemorial. But once you get somebody from their fold, who is a 3-time MP, all right, and he has also left his footprints within the constituencies, then a cause for worry for the party.
Right.
And such people will always want to also prove the party wrong. So they will do their homework and make sure that they face them boot for boot. And that is exactly what is playing out. If you look at elections in Ashanti region and strongholds, they are guided by what we call the dominant party model. People vote based on what? the dominance of the political party. That is what exists in that stronghold of theirs.
Right.
They vote irrespective of message or whatever. But there is also the other bit of it, what we call the rational choice. What do we derive from voting? All right. We derive what? Certain benefit. We get roads fixed, we get this and other. When people consider that, and they consider policies, program of whoever is the MP in that area, then it becomes what? A divided contest. That is what we see now. Rational choice versus dominant party model, which is playing out here. So who wins? Obviously, it will be a function of how you have organized yourself in terms of your strategy. If your strategy is to induce and the people are vulnerable and then they fall to it, you win. If the strategy is to be able to get more people because you believe that message is one that will what? Influence the choice of people and it works for you, fine. And of course, you are also what? Be able to do this based on the resources that you have at your disposal and all that. Above all, the message that you churn out, and it's a function of the problems that you have identified within the area that you think that you have the solution to deal with. And specifically, we deal in constituencies, we look at what we call what? The constituency-specific issues. What are the constituency-specific issues that confront the people that they believe that you are the one who has the magic wand to turn things around? So all in all, it should be an interesting contest, and that it is what? A party with a tradition and with everything against an independent member who was hitherto a member of the party, a 3-time MP, and a former deputy minister and all that. So it's going to be a tough one if we don't see inducement, harassment, intimidation, and manipulation. We believe that it should be a good contest, but that one, if the MPP is to lose that one, then there is a problem, because obviously it will play out in Parliament that they are minority in Parliament, even though there's what? They are the ruling government.
Absolutely.
If they win, then it tells you that, yes, they still have that constituency in their hand. It is under their thumb and all that. But the margin will also tell a story. If the margin is that wide, then it tells you that they are still in control of the constituency. If it is very light, then it tells you that they should be worried about what? The months ahead, because anything can happen. Then it also what energizes the NDC to tell you that, look, we'll come with a bang and change the status quo.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Asa Asante, for sharing these thoughts with us this afternoon on the pause. Let me bring in Mustafa Bamdi, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Mustafa, I mean, for you, you should be having a good time, relaxing, possibly enjoying some nice meal this afternoon, knowing very well that you have no stake in what is going on at Ejuso.
We have a serious stake in what is going on because the Electoral Commission, that is going to be the referee of the 2020 election, is doing a mock exam. This is a mock exam for the Electoral Commission. It tests the preparedness of the Electoral Commission for 2024, and already we have seen some potential likelihood of the tendencies of people collecting bribes. Again, the NDC didn't film a candidate, but we have some voters in that constituency who will obviously vote, and they should not vote for the MPP candidate, because these guys are the source of the problem of every Ghanaian. Ghanaians who are hungry, Ghanaians who are broke, Ghanaians who are crying, Ghanaians whose businesses are collapsed. President Akufo-Addo is responsible.
So who has the party advised them to vote for?
Well, I'm just saying that they are Ghanaians, they will vote, but they should obviously not vote for President Akufo-Addo. In fact, even in the by-election of his late Deputy Minister of Finance, both the Vice President and the President were in white dress. And for me, it is despicable and lack of sensitivity to a lost one, if really he was a deputy minister under this government. And so people should, demonstrate that level of disenchantment against the MPP and against President Akufo-Addo in that election.
The claim is
and
that
so
we are behind
monitoring the process.
The claim is that the NDC is solidly behind Kwabena Owusu-Aduomi, the independent candidate.
We are certainly not in support of the MPP, but we didn't participate in the election. And again, it is a factual presentation to state that we have supporters in that constituency who are Ghanaians and at this moment have a right to vote, and they will certainly vote for a choice. And that choice is the one that they will vote for. Whether the person wins or not, they will vote for a choice. We are not involved in it, but...
Connection to Mustafa Gwande is beginning to act up. We'll see if we can re-establish.
You will see. Hello?
Yes, I can hear. Please go on.
Yeah, in the next few minutes, you will see that MPP operatives and their supporters will begin to misbehave. And this is just a call for the police to be in readiness for what is going to happen, because they know that if there should be any fair process, they will lose. They are sharing money. And so as we speak, some supporters of the MPP have not voted because they know that the people will take the money and not vote for the MPP candidate. So they say, go and vote before you come for the money. The voters too are saying, we will not vote until we collect the money. So by and large, that is also going to increase the apathy against the MPP. Whichever way they look at it, it's a struggling election for President Akufo-Addo. It's a struggling election for the MPP, an election that they should have 100% to win, an election that they should win easily because that is their stronghold. But because of mismanagement, because of corruption, they are looking for the NDC's head because they want to come and lord over us to say that we supported their own deputy minister. We didn't. We are not. The guy is a tough politician. He's giving President Akufo-Addo for a run for his stolen money. He's giving the MPP for a run of their stolen money. And that is what is manifesting on the ground. So, I will ask if they will have the same amount of money to share for the people of Ghana. We will be happy because people will take the money, but they will vote with conscience.
So it is your expectation that the MPP will lose? This has been their stronghold since 1992.
It is my expectation that they will lose, but I don't think that it should be that bad. I think that the position that they want, they won't get because Ghanaians don't believe them. The people of Ejuso are very angry. Of course, I expect that the exercise should be very fair. The exercise should be very transparent. And the NDC would expect that the Electoral Commission will perform professionally and credibly besides all the shortfalls that have occurred, because these will impact, again, the credibility and image of the Electoral Commission going into the 2024 election. So this is dress rehearsal into the 2024 election. So whatever happens here would have some impact on the 2024 election. We are looking forward for polls to come to an end. Certainly, there is high apathy against the MPP in their own stronghold, and even the fact that they are in government. Certainly, the independent candidate will pull a lot of votes, representing high level of disenchantment against corruption, refusal to be compromised, people voting by conscience and saying enough is enough. You are using the people of Ashanti and misbehaving in government. So Ashanti region is not a hub for corruption, it's not a hub for political nonsense, it's not a hub for lazy politicians in power. Clearly, again, is going to represent the fact that they have not done anything in the Ejuso which will impact on the lives of the people.
Thank you very much, Mustafa. Let me give Dr. Asante the final word on this matter. So, Doctor, we have the main election coming up in December. Should this serve as a dress rehearsal in terms of how the Electoral Commission will conduct itself, the police, the various political parties, the electorates, as we look forward to December? Should this be the grounds as we prepare for the big day?
As for Electoral Commission, it must always be on its toes, given the task which is ahead. It cannot avoid to let its guard down. No, because this is a process that this is a body mandated by law to be able to manage all its processes to its final conclusion. So they have no choice than to live up to expectation. So anything of this nature, quickly they come to rescue and then make sure that you create an atmosphere that will engender confidence in the process. That will also put to rest all the issues that confront the whole process. And at the end of the day, you bring smiles on the faces of people. That is the whole essence of the election management body, such as the Electoral Commission. So they must be battle ready and then make sure that all these things will not repeat when we get to 2024 December 7, because that one, the numbers involved, you and I know, is so huge, and the responsibility is so are high and require all manner of experience, tact, and finesse. And above all, you have what the country at heart, and you want to make sure that after we have gone through the process, the nation will come back together as a solid body.
Right, thank you very much. Dr. Asante with the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, and of course also heard the NDC Deputy General Secretary, Mustafa Bandi. We are still keeping an eye on this issue at Ejuso. The election is just an hour and few minutes away, and then counting will start. And of course, the issue about the 2 officers suspended, the EC says that they will have to involve the police if they have to. They've started their own investigation. Whatever is contained in this envelope is unknown as of now. What is clear that some exchange took place, and that is what the Electoral Commission is investigating. This is the pause. Here on Join Us with me, Elton, but we'll take a short break and return with more on your favorite TV station.